Hello everyone. So today we are going to tackle a requirement in ServiceNow that basically we have some stories, and these stories are under part of Agile, right? So under Agile we have some stories. Now the storage table we need to grant access to certain people to these stories, but there's a trick. So basically we want uh, people to access the stories only when the stories are in draft state. So stories in draft, so we want them to everybody to have right access when the stories are in draft, and when the stories are not in draft, stories not in draft, then we want read only, and then accept work notes. So basically we want stories to be editable when they are in draft state, but when the stories are not in draft, then we want them to be read only except the work notes of the stories field, stories record. So this is the kind of requirement. Now how do we design this the solution? So there are like multiple approaches to suit for the solutioning. uh, of course we have to deal with access controls. Now access controls, uh, ACLs, we uh, let's imagine that we create a custom role. Even though I don't feel that custom role would be required, but let's say that I have created a custom role. Let's call it stories right underscore draft. So basically this custom role will be granted to certain people. Then we have to look into all the right ACLs of storage table basically, and this will be star ACL, which is like field level, right? Star field level ACL, and we have to modify that. So we have to add the condition. So we have to put the condition that will be called state is draft. So basically we are putting all the right ACLs. Basically there is just one ACL which is working on all the fields, uh, the star level field level ACL, and there we have to put the condition as state in draft. So what will happen that all the roles which are part of this ACL will uh, have to satisfy this condition. So only in draft state they will be able to edit. This is one thing. Second thing we have to do is we have field level ACLs, right? So all the field level ACLs, uh, all the field level ACLs, we have to again put the condition as state in draft, right? And then we have to look into the work notes. field level ACL, and we have to put open, no condition basically. So this will be no condition because this is open to all, right? So this will act on all the roles are associated with all of those ACLs. uh, this particular custom role would be added to all of these out of the box ACL records, or we can create its own access control record. And we can see like if we are able to achieve this requirement. Okay, this seems like a complex requirement because it has to deal with a lot of ACLs and mostly security related stuff. The business requirement is very clear. The stories should be in draft. When the stories are in draft, uh, anybody can write it, but when they are not in draft, nobody should be able to write it. It will be all the fields are basically read only except the work notes. So this is the overall business requirement. Let's jump into the service now and try to build, and let's see how our solution looks like. Yeah. All right, so we are in service now, and let's get into the solutioning part. So we'll get into the story. So basically we are in a stories table, and if I open the stories, you will see we have all of these stories. And if I open one of them, then you will notice that we have all the fields editable right now, and the story is in draft. Let me open another one which may be in a different state. So let me just add the state field. So let's say we don't want completed because completed would be already read only. Let's say we want something called testing. So testing is also editable, but we don't want this to be editable because it is not in draft, right? So anything which is not in draft, we want it to be read only, right? All the fields except the work notes here. All right, so let's take a look into the existing access control. So basically I was already looking into this, and I created a custom role. Even that role is not uh, at its best shape right now. So I'll just sort it based on updated. Yeah, so this is called story draft editor. I created this role, and we'll see the ACL. How do we deal with ACL? So yeah, let's go ahead and check the ACLs on this table. So the best way to do with that is just open any one of the story record and go to configure and go to table, So here you will see all the tables, all the ACLs related to the table, story table. So let's take a look into the all the access controls and see how we can play with it. All right. Okay, so we'll start with the ACLs. So let's try to go to the write operation. So we have all the ACLs with write operation. Let's see. I was trying to do some conditioning here. So there are two row level ACL, and there is this star for the all the field level ACL, and then there is a field specific ACL on the right uh, control. So let's go to these two ACL. Even we don't have to make any changes on this. So you can see these are certain roles which are given to these are certain roles which are granted to certain people, and all of these people are actually having access to write on this table. It says that this tire field is read only, so basically we have to enable the elevated access, so we'll do that. Before that we have this another ACL which is also field level, and it is dealing with the RM story admin, and then I have added my own custom role here, story draft editor. Even this role is not properly working, but I have just added it. uh, you can see we have some extra new features like security attribute conditioning, data condition, and script condition, and then here also we have some condition here. So we'll try to deal with this condition first, and then we'll see how do we, yeah, impact. So let's try to elevate the access first. So before elevating, let me prepare some test data uh, where we can do all the testing and all. So let me go and we go to the user table, and I have created this user called test story. uh, Now I have granted this user some my custom role here. Story draft editor, but I'll do one thing. I'll remove this role and I'll give him a very strong role from the story table, because we want to play with that. So let's say that I can give him either scrum admin, or scrum story editor, or here is RM story admin. Maybe this role is more powerful, but before granting that, let me check here. So here there is some condition for -6, but we'll have to play with that. Story editor. I think Scrum admin is a more powerful role here, so I can grant him Scrum admin role. So I'll just grant him Scrum admin. I'll also grant him Scrum story editor, because this is also one good role we want to play with. And then I also have my custom role, uh, which is not required, but I'll still keep it. Okay, so I have granted these roles to my test story user, and I want to see one thing is there is already a condition called state is not equal to -6. So I want to know what is this condition which is already there for the star level, uh, all the field level ACL. So let me elevate. I'll elevate as security admin, and then I'll refresh, and this will be editable to me. So there must be a condition here which hmm, state is draft. Yeah, I think I have added this condition recently. If I check the version, yeah, 14th of June, I have added this condition. I remember. So I have added this star. I mean, state is in draft. I have added this. Now imagine if I don't have this condition. Out of the box, there was no such condition. So I'll just roll back to my out of the box version, which is this system upgrade. So I'll just revert to this version. So this is the baseline version of the ACL. All right, and let's try to do a test drive to see how does it look like. Yeah. So I'll try to impersonate. Okay, so we are now with test story, and I have my two stories for testing. So let's say we have draft state. So obviously this will be editable. Yeah, so this is editable to him, and then we have another uh, state called testing, and you can see this is also editable. But we don't want this to be editable. This is our basic requirement. So we'll have to play with the ACLs now. All right, so let's try to go ahead and make some changes to the ACLs. So this is already elevated, and here now playing with ACLs is little tricky and complex because you need a lot of testing. You need a lot of rigorous testing. You don't want to you know it to fail because you are playing with security. So you have to be a little careful. So I'm just making the state as draft. Okay, so I just put this condition. So when the state is in draft, then only my records will be editable. Now let's test one more time. I'm not sure if it will work. Sometimes things are not very straightforward. So I just impersonated again with test user, and we have our test record. So draft one would be anyhow editable as expected, and this one we have some fields as become read only, which was like not in draft. For example, assignment group is not read only, so it's slightly working. The project is read only, and epic is also read only. uh, all right, so it's kind of working. You can see defect and enhancement, and here defect enhancement is editable, whereas here it's read only. Now in the work notes, we don't want work notes to be read only, so it's still editable. Now there are some extra fields which are also editable, and we want them also to be read only, like this. All right, so we have to you know act on the other field level ACLs, which are dedicated for these fields, kind of. All right, so let me go ahead and I'll just make some more changes. So we have all of these fields, and we don't want all of these fields to be editable, so we'll have to make changes to all of these ACLs. I know this is like a lot of lot of changes, but unfortunately we don't have any different solution than this. So let's try to, let me close these ones first. uh, or there could be some other solution we can try. What if I can, instead of modifying all of these field level ACLs, I can just directly deal with the row level ACL. Less changes are always good, right? So we have a condition on this, and what if I put same condition on these two? So let me try to go ahead and see that. But the problem is if I put on row level, then my work notes will also become read only, which I don't want. you know uh, at least on the row level it should be allowed, and then all the fields I have to make changes. Yeah, so this thing will not work. So let me go to all of these field level ACLs and make changes. Now comments and work notes, I will not do anything. Release or description, sprint, state, story point, and theme. Okay, so we'll have to put the same condition here. I wish this I wish this repetitive things could be automated with some AI. Who knows? In future, anything is possible. So I am putting a condition for state on a state field. That's a little funny. And yeah, I think I have made pretty much the expected changes. uh, I can close these many, or let me keep it open. I'll test and then I'll close. Alright, so let me impersonate again. Okay, so this is now impersonated, and we have again the test data. So draft one is working fine as expected, and here we were having limited fields read only. Now it's everything is read only, and we want only work notes to be editable, which is correct. All the fields are read only, and only the work notes is editable. So this is our desired solution, desired expectation, and yeah, that's pretty much we have made the necessary changes into the ACL, and it's kind of doing what was expected out of it. Let me close all of this. Now I know, like, this is like so many changes. At least like multiple access controls we have touch modified, but this is the only option we have if we want to achieve this requirement. So yeah, that's pretty much. I hope you are getting a slice of access control and see how it works. There are some new features which we have introduced in access controls. I'm still learning them. uh, for example, we have some new features like security attribute. Then we have some data condition, and we have script condition. Script condition is like it is like kind of the old feature. It's not something new. But data condition is something like, I think, similar to this condition, if I'm not wrong. This condition, but what's the difference? Still don't know. I have to take a look. Like, there's also not much documentation around, so we have to hit and try. And this security attribute condition is also like something where you can put some condition like what is has admin role, role and role explicit, all of this. uh, Earlier you have to write a code for that, but now it's quite easy. For example, if you say user has a role, something you select, and for example scrum admin, then the user has this role, then he's satisfying the attribute condition. So this is another way of putting a condition. There is a data condition, I think, which is like all right. So when you say add filter condition, then it's going there, and when you say add or clause, so it's also going there. So basically, it's the same thing. This condition fields is being used here for data condition. Just they have given this label here. That's it. Script condition will come, I think, when you go to the advanced section. So I'll just give you a glimpse of it. So when we go to the advanced, we have a script section, I think, and now the script section is enabled, and you can write your own custom script to basically, you know, do certain condition, and it should be like answer equal to false or true, something like that. So you have this basically answer field where you are setting false or true based on some condition. You can put if condition and all other complex code that you want here. Now this labels, I don't know why they put this data condition label here, because when you do here, it's going here basically. So it's the same condition thing, they just put a label here just for readability point of view. The rest everything is fine. Yeah, that's pretty much I have for you regarding how to play with ACLs. This was our desired outcome, and we are having it right now. All right, so let's stay in touch. These are ServiceNow solutioning, and I'll be posting some more videos on various topics in ServiceNow, and keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe my channel for all of the good insights and deep solution design on ServiceNow. See you. Thank you. Bye.